Sorry, just having a minute. Hello, hello. Yeah, couldn't think of a title, so I just put surprise, whatever's coming. Talking about whatever comes. Okay, just checking that I'm on the right channel. Hello, beautiful, beautiful ones. It's so nice to be here with you all. Thank you for joining. These lives are really heating up. They are getting juicy, juicy, juicy. I'm super excited. Hi, Katia. Hi, Sophie. Sophie. I need to message you. Annabelle. Hello, Tanvi. Nice to see you all. Yeah, these lives are juicing up. I looked at the lives in the Reel section the other day where I posted them, and they've had so much engagement. I am loving it so much. I'm loving being with you. I'm loving doing these lives. I feel really good about it. I feel like I'm very passionate about speaking to you, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and keep going. So nice to see you all. So nice to see you all. Whilst we're waiting for anyone else to join, I just want to offer you an invitation. Just rub your heart. Rub your heart. You know, there was once a moment where I was afraid of being seen for all of these weird and wonderful things that I do. Like, there was a moment where many years ago, I was afraid that people would look at me and judge me for being too out there or too woo or too spiritual. And the fact is that I was talking about all of this stuff many, many years ago. Like, I was doing my first events in London in 2013. And so, but I'm still worried that people are going to judge me. Like, what is she doing? Why is she rubbing her hand on her heart? What does that mean? Like, how can she be a successful entrepreneur in business at a very high level of success with very high level success clients and rub her heart on the middle of a live? You know, there was still insecurity that I had around who I was. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because what I'm realizing so much now, especially with high level women around me, especially with some of my most amazing friends who are incredible, and I have these absolutely incredible friends who are also very conscious. And, you know, I feel them holding back. I feel us holding back. As women, we are holding back. I don't care what level of success you're at, you are still holding back. I know that to be true. And I want to talk a little bit about that now, because it feels like a very potent and important conversation to have. First of all, please tag friends. And let's bring as many people onto this live as possible, because this message is so important. So tag friends if this resonates, because I'm talking to women right now, all women. Women at all different layers and levels of success, because I want to really use this time with me to wake us all up, to activate this deeper power in all of us. Because as I've said several times, you know, I work with women who are making 8-9 figures in revenue at the one-to-one level of my business. I also work with women who are making 20, 30K a month at another level of my business, you know. And so what do all these women have in common? We all have this fear deep inside of us, this fear of our power, but not in a way that you think. It's like, it's a fear of our raw and messy power. And this is a very important message to share today. Like, and you will already know this, and you may be thinking about the next level in your business, and you may be avoiding that, and you may be making that avoidance mean something that it's actually not. You might be making that avoidance energy into a story and make it mean that you are actually afraid because you're not good enough. Let's say it like that. Let me rephrase this. You think as a woman that you're avoiding your next level because you don't feel good enough, or because you are not ready, or because you don't make decisions fast, or because you get overwhelmed easily, or because you can't see how you're going to be working more to have more, or whatever. But in reality, it's not about that. In reality, it's not about that. In reality, it's not about that. Thank you, team oversharing. In reality, it's not about that. In reality, what is it really about? Why does 95% of the population of women globally avoid their next level? Why? Why does it take such a lot to be in the 1% on this planet? Why is the large proportion of the world's riches in the hands of such a small amount of people? And you could say, well, Jody, it's been inherited through family wealth. And I could say, yep, that's some of it. But why are we avoiding our next level? Why? As women, why? Why are we avoiding our next level? And as I've said to you before, we can do a very good job at playing in this next level of success, and we're still avoiding our power at that level. We're very, very good at telling ourselves that we're there, and we get very comfortable, and we're still avoiding the next level. We're all avoiding the next level. Why are we all avoiding the next level? Why do we get to a certain level in our career, in our business, and then stop? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why do we plateau and then quit or move on to something else? Why do we do that as women? Well, I feel that we are deeply afraid of our raw power. I feel like we're deeply afraid of our raw power, the kind of power that sets rooms on fire, the kind of power that can be destructive, the kind of power that can be world destroying. I believe that deep down within us somewhere, we have this knowledge, this wisdom of our power being destructive. And I believe that this is one of the biggest wounds right now that's coming up to the surface. See if it resonates. It might not make logical sense to you, but it will resonate on some level, because you'll start asking, well, hang on a minute. I've done lots of transformation work. I've done lots of healing work. I've done lots of mindset work. I've done lots of emotional clearing and energy clearing and spiritual work. Why am I still afraid, Jody? Why am I still holding back? And this could be the missing piece that you didn't realize was even missing. Because there are so many of us as women who are so capable, so talented, so powerful, and yet we're avoiding this next level of power because somewhere deep within us, we have a memory or memories. I think actually we have memories on a subconscious, collective, cellular level here, that we as women can be very destructive in our power, that we as women can be very, very messy, destructive. We can break things, we can destroy things. And I feel that that is one of the biggest wounds that's coming up right now. And hello, if you're just joining this conversation, this is a very spontaneous live. I didn't announce it. Spontaneous to see who would be there. And if you're watching the replay, welcome, welcome. And by the way, thank you for all the comments, all the engagements on all the lives that are posted, reposted. The replays are posted, reposted in the Reels section of this account. It's so amazing to have so many of you watching on the replay. So I really appreciate this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is an important conversation we're having right now. And it's also one of those conversations that you don't join unless you're ready. And so I'm not expecting heaps and heaps and heaps of people to watch this, because you don't join unless you're ready to hear this, because it's not going to resonate with everyone, because I don't resonate with everyone, because my work only connects and lands with a select few women who are ready to hear what I'm saying. And if I think about my journey with my power, because I'm very close to my journey with my power, obviously, you know, what I realized that I was afraid of was a really destructive energy that was suppressed in me over generations and generations and lineages and maybe past lives and past lives. And it was like an energy that was destructive, that was suppressed and hidden and hidden and hidden. And then suddenly it started to come out. And suddenly it started to come forth. And suddenly it started to want to be activated. And that will freak your genetic information, your ancestral information out. And if you're just joining me, I'm Jody, and I talk a lot about business and career and wealth. I mentor and consult with very, very highly successful women making 8-9 figures a year in annual revenue with multiple businesses. But I absolutely love talking to whoever is willing to listen about this information, because I believe that, you know, our business is a living system. We are a living system. We are here to master our energy so that we can walk into a room and the business comes, the sales happen, everything happens in such an effortless way. But we have to, in order to get to that version of ourselves, we have to be willing to really accept and lean into our biggest fears relating to our power, because our biggest fears relating to our power are real. Real. So as I say so many times, it's not actually the fear of the investment. It's not the fear of not being enough. It's not the fear of being rejected by people that we care about. It's not the fear of being judged by our family. It's not any of those things that are holding us back from our next level. It is so much to do with our fear of our unadulterated, unfiltered, raw power, the sort of power that burns down a room. This is what I'm talking about. Because I believe that as women, we have experienced this kind of raw, unadulterated, unfiltered power in many, many lifetimes and on a global scale. And I believe that we are very, very, very afraid of this energy leaking out, this energy coming out. We're afraid of this energy coming forth into our life. Oh my gosh, what just happened? I love that. We're afraid of all of this exploding. I've just turned myself into a very filtered version. I don't know how to do that. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we're so scared as women of being seen in this raw, messy, vulnerable, explosive, dynamic, powerful, you know, room burning down sort of power. And let me know if you can relate to this message, because I can relate to this message very, very, very deeply. And I feel as if many of us can relate to this as women as well. And it really is holding us back from our next level. It really is holding us back from our next level. And I really wanted to hop on today and open my mouth and speak without any prep at all. Because this is the moment where we show up and we open our mouths and we speak without any preparation. And we trust in the messages that come through us at this time, and we don't hold back. This is not a moment for holding back. This is a moment for opening up our highest power and our highest, most rawest, most messy, unfiltered version of ourselves, and channeling in the boardroom, channeling to whoever is listening. Now, I know that this year is going to open up a lot of very big business opportunities for me. And I know that I'm very likely going to be standing on some of the biggest stages at tech conferences about AI, conferences about the future, conferences about business and marketing, and some quite masculine, energetic topics. And I know that I'm going to be required to get onto that stage and let rip and open my mouth and be absolutely okay with whatever comes through me, because we are the medicine. We are the medicine that is needed at this moment in time. We are the medicine that is needed. We are the medicine. We are the source. We are the voice that is needed at this moment in time, right? And it's interesting because I have, just before hopping on this call, I was taking a look at someone's Instagram feed that I saw. And this person is very much in the coaching industry, and I'm sure is an absolutely lovely, lovely woman. And I was looking at her Instagram feed, and all she was talking about was like, here's how to make a 300K month. Here's how to have a 2 million month. Here's how to make 5 million in 90 days. And I was like, have you got anything else to say? Like, I want to know more about you. I want to know what you care about. I want to know what your message is. I want to know what your deepest fears are. I want to know, what your purpose is, what you're here to help humanity with. I want to know the level of impact you're having. I want to know what your absolute, soul gift is. Because at the moment, it just feels like there are so many coaches out there saying the same thing, looking like carbon copies of each other. And I'm like, I look at some of the amazing coaches in the industry, the coaching industry, that I really respect. And I understand why they, as industry leaders, get really pissed off, because there's so much copycat content out there on Instagram. And I'm like, wow, thank goodness I never felt comfortable in the coaching industry, and blessings to the coaching industry. And I need to make peace myself with the coaching industry for sure, because I never want to judge the coaching industry. But blessings, I don't know where the coaching industry is going right now. And my hope for the coaching industry is that those women who have the same voices and the same messages and look like each other and are saying the same thing, my hope is that they actually tap into their deepest, soul gift, their unique message, and actually be brave enough to channel that, as opposed to all the same stuff that's constantly being talked about, because they're just embodying the same identity. And I truly believe that even if you're in the coaching industry, even if you're a sales coach, you have an identity that's totally unique to any other sales coach out there. You have a very unique way of showing up in your content. You have a very unique way of talking about money. Let's see some originality. Let's see some unique messaging in the coaching industry moving forwards. And it's the reason why I know that I'm here as a coach, a mentor, a strategist. But really, I know that I'm here as an entrepreneur, and I'm about to acquire a new business in the cosmetic industry, actually, because I honor the uniqueness of me. And it's very interesting to just observe what's going on online right now. So rant over. And again, I really honor all the coaches in the coaching industry, because it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to speak about large amounts of money online. It really, really does take a lot of courage. But it's like, if that's it, and that's all the content you're posting, it's gonna get boring for people watching, because the fact is that we're all very, very unique, right? We're all very, very unique, and we are here for differentiation, So yeah, Annabelle, I love this so much. Yeah, here's the thing. This is the rise of the feminine. Come on, I'm not the only one talking about it. Everyone's talking about it out there. But what I can add in terms of my unique spin to it is my own story with this. Now, I think I mentioned this on the live on Monday or Tuesday when I did the last live. But, what I'm realizing is that many of us women, the reason why we're still doing business like men is because we're subconsciously continuously tapping into this archetype of being a woman, which is incredibly disempowering. And I do believe that many of us who are ambitious and who can really feel where we're heading, you know, when someone comes in and starts talking about what it means to be a feminine leader and a feminine woman, I feel like it can trigger this very wounded, disempowered archetype of being a feminine woman. And this is the healing that I know many of us are doing right now. But I do feel still that there's a distinct lack of role model women around many of us who are showing us the way forwards, who are actually showing us a very balanced and harmonious expression of business and what it means to be a woman in business. Because, you know, it's an ongoing journey, and there's a lot of transformation. And I feel like what I'm talking about right now is one of the most important wounds to reconcile. And if you're just joining me, what I've been talking a lot about on this live is actually how afraid we have been of our raw, unfiltered, naturalistic power as women. Because a lot of women talk about power out there online, but really they're talking about their interpretation of masculine power, and it's not what we are as women stripping back to reveal right now. It's a different kind of power. And I will promise you and commit to you to constantly continue to show up in this way and share my rawness, which I hope will start to activate you in a positive way and take you deeper into your own journey of feminine leadership. Because many of us women have a belief system as well that it's not possible to have the same level of success versus the level of success that we can have when we're operating as a man in business. And I know I'm oversimplifying what I'm saying, but I have seen some influencers, some female influencers in the investment space talking about how they are exploring a feminine way of doing business, but that they have noticed a drop in their results and success levels since exploring this more feminine way of doing business. They've noticed a drop in their results, and it's not filling them with hope. And I'm going to engage in a more high-level conversation with them at some stage, because my response to that is that it's not happening for you because on a mindset level or on a frequency level, you don't fully understand what it means to be a powerful, magnetic woman yet. You don't understand what it means to do business like a woman yet, because you haven't figured it out. You haven't figured out your version of doing that, and you're still thinking about doing business from a man. And because you have probably a belief system that's saying that it's not possible to have success as a woman in business in the way that you want to have success, you know, it's a whole new identity shift that you've got to cultivate here, because we have been so societally conditioned by, we've been so conditioned by society to believe that it's not possible to have the same level of success as it is if we're running a business from our masculine. And so many of us have seen how to build multiple seven-figure businesses from the masculine energy. And so, of course, naturally, there's going to be a hesitation from us, because, of course, naturally, we're going to be like, well, hang on a minute. I did it in this way. Is it possible to do it in this way? Because I'm not seeing examples of women talking about how they have created powerful, multiple seven-figure, 8, 9-figure businesses from a place of... from a place of being a woman in business. And what does that mean? What does it mean? You know, what does it mean? You know, well, if you could be a fly on the wall and watch me running my business, you would know exactly what it means. You would know exactly what it means. You would know exactly how I operate on a day-to-day basis. And you would know how I use my intuition to make powerful decisions, how I allow my business to communicate to me and guide me forwards. You would understand how I work with my energetics as well and my frequency, but you would also see me hustling at times, because hustling at times is also necessary. It's got to be a balance. You know, sometimes you've got to push through because you're up against some quite heavy duty resistance going on in your being. Okay, so I'm on day 2 of my cycle, and no, day 3. Yesterday was just so heavy, and I was in such a sort of energetic decline that I actually couldn't show up and do a live. And so today I'm getting glimpses of that spring energy, but I'm not quite completely ready to let rip, even though I did let rip today. So I'll just complete with this message. As I've said in various lives, if you are looking for that extraordinary power breakthrough, if you're an extraordinary woman, which I know you are, looking to activate an extraordinary level of power, going above and beyond what I'm showing you, because I expect that if you come into any program with me, that you are going to be mentored to go above and beyond my level of success, because this is how it works. If you are ready for that, then feel free to comment EP. And when I post the replay, comment EP in the comments and tag me, and I will share with you some next steps. If you're a woman in business who is truly forging a unique path for herself, and you are really wanting support to navigate this movement forwards this year and have a huge impact, help people in your industry, and of course make a lot of money, because money's amazing. Money gives us new frequencies, access to new codes of success, new lifestyle codes. Money's amazing. You know me, I've been talking about money for many, many years now. If you want all of that, then you can share EP in the comments. You know, it was wild on Monday. I had like 20 people wanting to talk to me about EP, and it was absolutely crazy. I was trying to get to everybody. I was trying to get to everyone. So I've got a lot of follow-ups to do. But if you're wanting to be involved as well, then I'm here for this conversation. I am here to support you. Myself and my team are here to support you. So, okay. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for this beautiful conversation. And if you want to catch up on the replays that I've done, just head to the Reels section. And yeah, I'm super excited to speak more. I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, let's do this to you and your next level. Lots of love. Bye.